If you suffer from migraines or headaches, it may not just be your diet that's causing the pain.
Yeah, your childhood may be partially to blame. Catherine Kreatsoulas has been studying a link between migraines and childhood traumas at Harvard T.H. Public School of Health and joins us with more. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So this is a very interesting study. Tell us, how are headaches and migraines possibly linked to childhood trauma, and why does this happen?
So we were interested in looking at if this has a pathway, a link in the brain, because all of our chronic diseases present and are developing much earlier than the symptom presents. And so we were looking at the pathways that could potentially lead to headache. We were studying people who suffered from traumas in childhood, and these could constitute a number of different things. And then we were looking at the pathway in the brain. Does it create any structural changes? And what we found is that there is a link between childhood traumas and headaches in adulthood.
And I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about when you talk about these, the number of things of the trauma. I picture kids maybe on a playground and falling, or different types of sports. Is that the kind of trauma you're talking about?
No, those would be physical traumas. What we're looking at are more are traumas that would be things such as physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, or even other things like where a child has neglect in their home environment. So a parent that may be depressed or suffers from alcoholism or substance abuse, where the child's needs are not met. And so these also usually occur for lengths of time, and then they affect our brain, because during childhood, it's an important period of development where the bricks are being laid. And if the bricks are not being laid down well, then we see that these problems appear later on in life.
Well, if these children experience this at a very young age, is it difficult to spot, and how can you treat it?
So that's a very complex question, to be honest. But what we're looking for now is, because we studied when this happened in adulthood with adults that presented with headache. One of the things that we are recommending is for neurologists or their doctors to start asking these questions, because we do see a link. Then there are other therapies that can help, and we do see a lot of techniques such as therapy, meditation, mindfulness, that are actually helping to quiet down these pathways that are activated in the brain. But we also recommend that we start screening our kids too, and start asking these questions to prevent them from happening in the first place.
So if you can prevent the headaches later on, what would it take to do that? Are we talking about therapy after the trauma happens, like talk therapy, or making sure that they're getting those emotions out and aren't keeping them trapped inside their body?
That we know that absolutely does help, even to screen and to make sure, because a lot of kids might keep this to themselves. So it'd be really great to, develop in the future some public health interventions where we ask these questions of our kids, where teachers are, it's on their radars, or the school nurse, or somewhere where they feel comfortable and safe to be able to discuss these things, because they're happening in the home, and that's normally their safe place, in the home.
All right, well, very interesting. Catherine, thank you so much for sharing this information with us this morning.
Thank you so much.